Governor Abbott signs a new law that would ban most abortions in Texas. Courts have overturned previous efforts by lawmakers to tighten restrictions. Why this time could be different. Thousands of Texans faced problems getting help with unemployment claims. Our investigation finds the contractors hired to handle those calls were never trained to do the job. Plus, $1 billion in unemployment benefits stolen by identity thieves. Why the state might not have acted quickly enough to stop the fraud.
Produced from the Capitol in Austin and airing statewide, this is the award-winning State of Texas.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Josh Hinkle. Governor Greg Abbott signed a bill that gives Texas some of the country's tightest restrictions on abortion. The governor kept media out of the signing ceremony, but his office posted video of the scene inside where a crowd of supporters cheered on the signing. The new law bans abortions after a fetal heartbeat is detected. That can be as early as 6 weeks into a pregnancy. There is no exception for rape or incest. The law will allow anyone to sue a doctor who performs or assists in an abortion after a fetal heartbeat is detected. It also allows lawsuits against someone who helps a woman get an abortion. The new law is scheduled to take effect in September, but it's likely to face legal challenges. For Insight, we spoke to Dr. Abigail Aiken from the LBJ School of Public Affairs at UT Austin. Her research focuses on the impact of law and policies restricting access to abortion.
Senate Bill 8 will essentially constitute a ban on abortion because at 6 weeks, which is when a fetal heartbeat can first be detected, most people don't know that they're pregnant. And so other states have had similar laws passed in previous sessions. And the first thing to say is that they are unconstitutional because they violate the right to choose abortion up until viability. I think the first thing that people should know is that abortion will still be legal in Texas. The bill will not go into effect immediately, and also to expect legal challenge. It isn't clear how that's going to play out because of this different provision in the bill that allows private citizens to sue. So it's not clear whether legal action will be taken against the governor, even though the legislature has put this law into place. So I would expect a lot of interesting legal procedure to be talked about.
The Supreme Court struck down abortion restrictions passed in Texas before. 5 years ago, the High Court overturned part of House Bill 2 passed in 2013. It required all facilities performing abortions to meet hospital-like standards that included minimum sizes for rooms and doorways. The court also struck down a separate provision that required doctors to have admitting privileges at a hospital within 30 miles of an abortion clinic. But new Supreme Court justices could be more favorable to restrictions. This fall, the court will hear a case on a Mississippi law that bans almost all abortions after 15 weeks. It's seen as a challenge to the Roe v. Wade ruling, which said states cannot ban abortions before a fetus is viable. That occurs around 24 weeks of pregnancy. The decision is expected next spring. A bill to require the use of a national database to solve missing persons cases is headed to the governor's desk. It's a direct result of our Missing in Texas investigation. Investigator Arzo Dost breaks down what's next from the Capitol.
It's a bittersweet day for the families who made the trip to the Capitol a number of times this session and pushed for this law.
HB 1419 is finally passed.
It took senators about 30 seconds to pass John and Joseph's law unanimously. This means if Governor Greg Abbott signs it, law enforcement, medical examiners, and justice of the peace will soon be required to enter case details into the National Missing and Unidentified Person System, or NamUs. This law is named after John Almendarez and Joseph Fritz, both from Houston and both who were missing for years. Their families say NamUs helped with their cases and finally gave them closure.
My dad has pretty much been here with me the whole way because he's my motivation behind this. I believe that Joseph and my dad, they mattered.
I think it's going to be great for families and great for law enforcement. Just to not have to suffer for years looking for a loved one. It's bad enough losing one of your loved ones, but trying to locate them for years and all you go through.
NamUs is federally funded, so it wouldn't cost Texas any additional dollars to use the database, which can also be used by family members. Arzo Dost for State of Texas.
We've been covering this bill since before the start of the session. To watch our step-by-step coverage, head to missingintexas.com. We've received a lot of tips from unemployed Texans who couldn't get help from contractors hired to help the state with claim complaints. Now we reveal most of those contractors were never trained to do the job you need. Our investigation coming up.